Welcome to episode 6 of the Torah Sweets podcast. I am Mendel Berlin, torahsweets@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Hanukkah to all. This podcast is sponsored by the Chait family, Le'ili Nishmas, for Yecheskel ben Shlomo Zalman for his first yortzeit on the first night of Hanukkah. May his neshama have an aliyah. We all know the famous saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Let's face it, we live in a world where there's people, talking heads, everybody's talking, the words are flowing freely. We don't feel like it makes a big difference at all. But the truth is, we learn in this week's Parashat Miketz, that words make a tremendous difference. We see that Yosef and his brothers have a confrontation. And at that point, Yosef was trying to prove a point to his brothers. He set them up. And, he was threatening them, and he said to them as follows. He says, don't you know who you're messing with? Don't you know that a person like me, Kimoni, practices divination, which is, a certain form of witchcraft? The Netziv asks a wonderful question here. He says, why does Yosef say a person like me? Why doesn't he just say, I practice divination? Right? And that's a good question to ask. And the answer the Netziv gives is very powerful. And it teaches us that words actually make a big difference. Words can hurt us, and words that we say could come back to haunt us. Because words that are spoken out loud can make a big difference and create our reality. We have heard something called self-fulfilling prophecy. This is when we say something, it could make a difference in our lives. So when Hashem created the world, He created the world through speech. Hashem spoke, and things came into existence. And interestingly enough, the Hebrew word for a thing, an item, is davar. And the word for speech is diber. Hashem spoke. And when we say to ourselves things like, oh, I'm so dumb, I can never get anything right, we are actually creating that reality. It's pretty scary. And also when we talk to our children, there's a lady, her name is Dorothy Briggs. She wrote a book called Your Child's Self-Esteem. She said, make sure not to label the child, label the action. It's sometimes very difficult in the heated moment when we're upset at a child, but instead of saying, you're immature, and labeling them, we could say something like, if we have to, say something like, that's immature. We're not labeling the child, we're labeling the action. You could say, you're amazing, but that's immature. So it's a very scary thing that nowadays people speak and they feel like their words have no consequence, and the truth is that they have tremendous consequence. So next time we want to say something, we have to think to ourselves, how am I creating my reality? What's my self-fulfilling prophecy? Because it all starts with positive thoughts. Every word that we say starts in our mind. And if we have positive thoughts, like the Tzemach Tzedek said, think good and it will be good. When we create the positive, optimistic thoughts, we are going to be saying positive things. And even if we don't believe it at first, fake it till you make it. You say, I am smart, I am capable, I am a good person. Right? Because we are. But we just need to be able to start creating that reality with our words, and sooner or later everything will follow in a positive sense. So, wishing everybody a happy Hanukkah. Thanks again for watching. Please send us feedback. Watch us on YouTube, Torah Sweets channel, and Shabbat Shalom.